Hey, everybody, Basement Tapes 308. And a few minutes ago, I had a talk with myself and said, hey, let's take a stab at 308. I was going to hang up the headphones, see what was going on around the house, but the house seems pretty quiet. Jetty Spaghetti is not yet awoken, so those obligations don't need to be met quite yet. So let's get to the 77-78 Tops hockey set here. It says I have 187 of them. Let's see how I'm doing according to Beckett. There's 268, I'm told. 264, I guess, if you're not counting variations. But average value 90 cents, $241.35. Total value $45 to $90 for this set of buttes. 77-78 top set consists of 264 standard size cards. Cards 203, Stan Gilbertson, and 255, Bill Fairbairn, differ from those of OPG. Card fronts have team name and logo, player name and position at the bottom. Yearly statistics include minor league numbers are featured on back, along with a short biography and a cartoon illustrated fact about the player. After the initial print run, Topps changed the photos on card numbers 131, 138, 149, and 152. Two of the changes, 38, 138, and 149, were necessary corrections. Rookie cards include Mike Milbury and Mike Palmateer. So there are your four variations, photo changes there at some point by Topps. 22 rookie cards, they're telling us. Let's look at the top three here. The suspense is killing me. Ken Dryden and Mike Palmateer, the rookie card there, are number one. Number two is Bobby Orr by himself, and Brian Trottier is in third by a few lengths ahead of the rest of the field. Let's go to TCDB. It says here 264 cards. The teams are you ready for this? The Atlanta Flames, Boston Bruins, Buffalo Sabres, Chicago Blackhawks, Cleveland Barons, Colorado Rockies, Detroit Red Wings, Los Angeles Kings, Minnesota North Stars, Montreal Canadiens, New York Islanders, New York Rangers, Philadelphia Flyers, Pittsburgh Penguins, St. Louis Blues, Toronto Maple Leafs, Vancouver Canucks, and the Washington Capitals. Errors and variations, we talked about 131. Different photos. Let's see here. We can zip by here. There's old Tom Bladen. He's got a variation. Let's look at the next one. Wow, look at that. I don't know why they changed that. I don't know why they had to change that. Perhaps somebody smarter than I can find that answer. Bernie Wolf, he had to change because his photo in 138A was actually Al McAdam. So I'm sure he's being blamed for a lot of what Al McAdam was doing. So let's change that. And then in turn, 149 was Bernie Wolf when 149B is the real Al McAdam. So a little swapping of photos there. Rick Lapointe photo, actually Larry Goodenough. Good enough? That's a great name. Good enough. He has a black helmet, no mustache, whereas the 152B is actually a photo of Rick Lapointe with no helmet, with mustache. So helmet, no mustache, and no helmet with mustache. Lots going on there, folks. Hall of Famers, 46 of them, league leaders, base cards, playoffs. We're talking about playoff cards and all that fun stuff. So rookies, we talked about, there's 23 of them. Plett, Gardner, Holt, Cameron, Sargent, Anderson, Erickson, Milbury, Sharpley, Adur, Chapman, Farris, Dean, Biankin, Edwards, Pierce, Palmateer, Palanich, McEwen, Jensen, Murdoch, Green, McAdam. I did exceptionally well there, I think. Inserts and relates. There's glossy inserts. We'll talk about that in a future episode because I have some of them. Comments. Phil tells us this set is low on rookies and features mainly action shots. The photography is subpar at best, and many players are shown on the same card in some instances. All downhill from here, he says. So he is rotten tomatoing that thing all over the place. Here's the packaging. Look at that beautiful wax box, kind of a baby teal blue there, curved T tops, hockey, picture cards, bubble gum, photo card in every pack. That would be your glossies. So fun. There's an open wax box. You don't see that often because people are afraid to actually flip that little lid up and look inside. But the wax packs are nice yet they don't match up with what we're seeing in the wax packs submitted by a different user here. So not quite sure what's going on there. There's an NHL nylon mesh jersey that's on display there on the wrapper. You could probably send a lot there for that. There's the Card Killer Locker. Get one of those, ship it right to the landfill. And then there's the NHL cartoon embroidered patches you could put anywhere you wanted, on your knees, your buttocks, your old army jacket with your peace sign button, all that stuff. So lots of options there. Let's get to the gallery. Plain borders, kind of like 77, 78 basketball, kind of like 77 Topps baseball. A lot of white on here. And of course, it's the NHL where there's a disproportionate amount of whiteness in the pictures of the cards as well. So all the leaders there start off. Why do I make myself laugh with such uncomfortable humor? I don't know. But again, we have helmeted and unhelmeted players here. The backs are cool. They're blue, they're black, they're on gray stock. Yvon Labre is a defenseman with the Capitals. He's being chased by a pack of Red Wings. So that's a fun little action shot there. I don't know what that commenter is saying. This is a beautiful, beautiful photograph. Again, as you can tell by the shadows, not necessarily up to futuristic lighting specs, but still caught in action. Walt McKechnie is hanging out by the goalie there in Boston and or Detroit. Rick Kehoe, blah, blah, blah. Just great. Look at Gary Unger, just hanging out there all on his own on the ice. Solo singles competition, I guess they would call that. He's a captain. He's with the Blues. Maybe he even has the Blues. We don't know. Doug Bouchard looks like he wants to kick somebody's tail. He's a goalie without a helmet. Big stick, waffle board, all that stuff on display. Daryl Sittler. There's Bob Murdoch, right wing with the Barons, the Cleveland Barons. This might be your last chance to get a Cleveland Barons card, by the way, folks. So might as well scoop those up while you can. Look at the team photos there. Beautiful team photos on the ice. Sometimes these photos will show us multiple leathered shin pads and waffle boards. So what a orgasm for your eyes. If you're into Wilson's leather, this is the place to be. Coaches wearing suits, plaid suits in some cases. Yeah. So great team photos here. Great individual action photos, I think. I'm not down on it like that commenter was. I think there's a lot of cool stuff here because action photos, of course, are only a few years old and are sports cards, I guess, or real action photos. I know hockey used to do it earlier than other teams. And basketball is 61-62 Fleer. So essentially, I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's read about Bobby Clark. 5'10", 180, shoots left. First pro season was 69-70. Acquired 69 amateur draft. Born 8/13/49 in, I don't know, Flint Run, Manitoba. Does that sound right? Cherry Hill, New Jersey is where he resides at this point. Cherry Hill is just on the other side of the Delaware River from Philly. A career Philadelphia Flyer. And lots of points, lots of assists. Says here, up to this point, his NHL totals were 622 games played, 233 goals, 472 assists, 705 points, 758 penalty minutes. This guy would fight you and score on you all the same. The Flyers team captain, he's a three-time winner of the Hart Trophy as most valuable player of the NHL. Was credited with 117 assists and 160 points in Flin Flon. So that's the name of his place, Flin Flon, Manitoba. So sorry about that, Bobby Clark. 1967 to 1968. Bobby was vice president of NHL Players Association. Look out for NHL products, it says in the bottom left there. 1977 Topps Chewing Gum Inc. printed in USA. I believe there's only one asterisk on this card, so good luck. Bobby's getting ready for face-off. Legendary player. The Flyers used to be a thing back in the 70s, so for those who forget their hockey history, check out some of those old Flyers from back in the day. The Ruskies, or the Soviets, as they called them back then, sure learned a lesson from Bobby Clark and company in the 70s. Look at Rick LaPointe bending that stick, man. Slap shot, they called that. So fun stuff there. Anyway, that's the 77-78 top set upside down goalie mask, or maybe that's a regular size goalie mask. I don't know. But anyway, lots of stuff going on. We have a referee make an appearance in card 179, adjudicating a misdemeanor between the Rangers and perhaps their opponents. Great hockey mask there. Looks like a Mexican wrestler, if you ask me. So, second team All-Star Ricky Martinez. He would go on to join Menudo and have some fame as a solo artist as well. And Barry Dean skating, Andy. Come on, how's that not a great photo? Barry Dean skating away from somebody's drunk uncle. I love it. So keep it up. Colorado Rockies is what they called them, and that logo was sublime back then. Gary Smith blowing his nose in between periods, as they say. That's what she said. 23. Let's get to that. Look at a record breaker, Steve Shutt, and record breaker Guy Lafleur. Record breaking all over the place, probably breaking teeth and breaking records. That's what hockey was all about back then. There's another Guy Lafleur, record breaker, and Ian Turnbull, also a record breaker. Guy Lafleur, card 214 record breaker, card 216 record breaker, card 218 record breaker. So every other card for a while, this guy was breaking records. So breaking hearts probably as well as he went down the ice with the puck and gently deposited it in the back of the neck. There's Dave Gardner, another Baron. Bring back the Barons is what I say. And Jerry Cheevers. I always say Gary. Sorry about that, Chiefs. Stanley Cup playoffs, Stanley Cup finals. Canadians win their 20th Stanley Cup. The rest of the hockey world yawned. That would soon change when the Islanders woke up, and then we were given by the gods of the North, the Edmonton Oilers, soon after. So anyway, 77, 78 tops, big set, lots of cards, 264 cards, and double what the NBA set was in that same year. Lots of Canadians, a couple Americans, few Europeans, and pure joy is what I have to say about this set. So anyway, Basement Tapes number 308, 77, 78 tops hockey. Cheers to all, and thanks again for watching and or listening.